Let's now do a quick review of JSON, the JavaScript object notation. When you are exchanging data between a client and a server, usually the data is encoded in a format that can be easily readable and processable by the machines on either end. Two commonly used formats for data exchange between a client and a server are XML and JSON, JavaScript object notation. Now, when you receive the data on either end, you need to parse this data and then convert it into a format that can be used within the applications. So if you download data from a server in JSON format, then you may want to parse this data and convert them and map them into Java objects so that you can then use those within your code on the client side in an Android application. Now, Android includes pre-built parsers for both XML and JSON. You can make use of them for parsing the data as such. If your data is in a specific format, then you could even consider using third-party libraries that will automatically parse the data for you. So for example, if you are downloading data in the RSS or Atom format, then there are pre-built parsers for those. Another incredibly easy way of parsing JSON data is to use the Google JSON library. The Google JSON library allows you to map a JavaScript string into Java objects and vice versa. It takes Java objects and then converts them into JavaScript string. So this is a very easy way of conversion from one format to another. And JSON makes it straightforward to achieve this in practice. Now let me quickly give you an overview of the JavaScript object notation itself. This is a ASCII format, data format, so it'll be easy for even human beings to be able to read it. Of course, it takes a little bit of effort to understand what exactly is in there, but once you understand the format, you can easily parse it without even having to think about it twice. Now, JSON is designed as a lightweight data interchange format and independent of the language, and it is increasingly becoming the de facto standard for data exchange between a client and a server, especially given the fact that JSON strings can be easily mapped into JavaScript objects on the client side in a web browser. So it makes it very easy to handle this form of data. When you look at a JSON format, it's a string, an ASCII string. As an example, you will see that the people example, which I am actually making use of in the exercises that you have seen so far, it includes different fields. So the JSON string is specified in the form of a name value pair. So you would have a name specified as a string and then the value of it specified on the other side. So here, for example, you specify an ID, which is an integer, a name and status message, and also image URL, which are all strings. So you can easily see that when you read this JSON string, it's fairly straightforward to understand what the data is that is contained within these strings. Now, we need a way of automatically processing this string. Now, this is a very small string, so it is very straightforward to process, but imagine that you are getting, say, about half a megabyte of data that is in JSON format, and you need to quickly process the data. So then you need an automated method of processing such strings. So that is where the JSON library comes into help for you. Now we'll move into the next exercise where we will look at the use of an async task to offload the data, offload the work from the main thread to a background thread. And async task is a very easy way of achieving this in practice. In addition, we'll also employ the Picasso image downloading library to download data asynchronously behind the scenes and then update the UI when the data is ready.